For thousands of years, humans have recognized that the sun plays a role in the emergence of the transmissions of viruses. But today, we all find ourselves on that road, grappling with an unknown terrain and all the fear and anxiety that accompanies it. It's so funny that this has always been the case. Marking a calendar or mapping out a 5-year plan may make us feel like we have a measure of control. So we can control ourselves, we can control the world, we can control everything. But any number of things can throw even the most meticulous plans into disarray. In the wake of this global pandemic, so many people are asking the question that has run through my head over and over again these last few years. What do I do now? What I've learned is that sometimes you just have to accept that no, you don't know where you are or how to get home, but it's virtually impossible to stay stuck forever. The pandemic has upended our entire lives. Important projects have halted, we have lost jobs, canceled momentous trips, gone weeks, and still counting until now, without hugging our family and friends. Nothing seems normal. It may be tempting to let your mind wander into what if, worst case scenarios, but what if you set time limits on being in that space of anxiety? So, how we can cope with the uncertainty? The uncertainty may be as unsettling as the virus itself when will normal life resume. So many people are wondering, when will the world get better? Psychologists say uncertainty is unsettling because humans' nature demands predictability. People count on it in daily life, in the structures around them to function. When they don't have it, they can become uncomfortable and insecure. The things we rely on for stability in our lives are all under stake. People never know what's going to happen next, but because they have routines, they make predictions about what is probable, and this is providing comfort. The pandemic has decimated that. We need some certainty to feel fundamentally safe in our lives. If people ask me how I cope with it, my answer will be try to pretend like everything is fine. Remember, pre-coronavirus, when you had somewhat of a routine to your day, you would wake up at a certain time to go to your job, have your meals around the same time, exercise, or to go happy hour after work. If we can throw back to see how we survived until today, we will see how strong we are. This might be an extreme highlight, but I would like to interpret as an analogy. Have you ever realized that the sun sets and rises every day like the moon? The moon is a rock, it still has the power to reflect the sun's light. If one of them stops serving, it will be replaced by another. How fair and balanced they are. Showing up fully the power to the earth means not taking any directions we may have to chance, fix, escape, fight, or even heal what's happening. We are all affected by the power. Waking up in the morning sometimes lead us to fix or change what is broken yesterday, and going to bed at night will let us know to this fight and heal. The way we see the stars can be based on our purpose, our point of view, expression, and way of being changed as we learn, unlearn, and grow. We blossom when we escape from unworked old ways, then start to reveal our true self, called authentic self. As the 19th century psychologist William James observed, all our life is a maze of habits. A maze of habits can form the authenticity, but sometimes it becomes paradox when people most authentic on days where their behavior closely matches with socially approved standard. How sad it is. I don't know why people keep having a mindset like that just to be like with socially approved standard. That what we need is accepting and embracing our flaws would align with our self qualities. It takes our energy to find who we are, called our essence. Essence becomes so poetic. When people ask me, do you know essence? I would like essence just like the ingredients of cook, the ingredients of somewhat that can be cooked. Yeah. Or it's like color? No. People would ask me like that and somehow I just answer like that. Okay. Essence becomes so poetic when it comes to self, a deep word, but it makes the unique us. Most people misinterpret essence by still being the real us, but it will never let us move to read the next book. People let the stories in the book take over their lives and get trapped there. The path out of that stories comes by going inward and strengthening ourselves from the inside out. It may sound odd to go inward while we need to go out of the stories. Somehow, I think that we forget our essence inside. Somehow, I just forgot my essence inside. We may not recognize it until it goes round and round for a lifetime in ourselves. Back to my experience. Have ever been trapped in the same place that makes me who I am today? I let myself be buried, I let myself be trapped in the story of a book that I couldn't jump myself to see another story. I was a shy person to show my teaching ability. It led me to be insecure while people asked me to teach them. I was questioning myself. Can I help them? I lost touch for myself suddenly. Rejecting their request will make them not believe my ability. My soul screamed, enough, stop. My mind just let me be the way I was. When it comes to soul, we will think that soul comes from the deepest heart with love and spirit. And firstly, the mind is rational and realistic. People often find the difference between soul and mind. Nevertheless, the balance of them is what we need. Similarly, the sun and the moon are different. They keep balancing the earth with their powers. No one is self-centered. We shouldn't leave the mind when we want to hold the soul. Like we shouldn't leave our loved ones when we want to hold the other ones. I don't say that it's like a cheating, but I mean just make it balance. Finding the right balance of mind and soul is the key to jump to another story. I went inward to myself. The more I went inward, the more I was stuck in the darkest of my mind. I was nearly questioning what life is for, what I should have done, and what impacts that I could give to the world. Being stuck in the darkest of my mind led me to the light path unconsciously. It puzzled me during my journey to find my essence. I started to think if people were pure and perfect when they were born, no one would influence us at that time. So, I found out my life path out. I have begun my journey with self-love. I define my self-love as the balance between loving with my soul and my mind, and a platform for my self-development. I try to be brave, showing my teaching ability, accepted friends' requests for being taught, and applied for a part-time job as an online tutor. I have built myself in the right way. The right way doesn't mean the end way. There is no end way to just find your essence. Being a part-time job as an online tutor is my way to eliminate my essence. I improve myself to be a good one, to be a good online tutor day by day, second by second, minute by minute, just to face my students virtually. I need to improve myself. How funny is it? In the end, I find my platform for my self-improvement as well as my self-growth and drive me to my self-development. In the end, the sun is to the moon as the soul is to the mind. I believe they have the right balance. Keeping the balance in the middle of the things will never be so easy, but it would when we know our essence, but when we know our core. Starting from self-love, just love yourself, will it ask you to improve yourself and having a self-improvement and then make you grow. Then you have self-growth, then continue to self-development. Recognizing ourselves will make us continually improve, grow, and develop. Briefly, the best way to illuminate our essence is by keeping that self cycle goes on. I'm Nila, and I'm checking out.